What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Billshowto. Today I'm going to show you guys how to fix a leaking or dripping shut-off valve. So in this case here we've got a shut-off valve for our toilet cistern, and you can see it's constantly just dripping between the seal right here, and if I put my fingers on the back end of the spindle here, we've also got some water there. So there's two main causes that cause this, and it looks like we've got an issue with both of them. So I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to repair. Let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is shut off the water here, flush the toilet. We want to make sure we've got most of that water out of the line as possible, so that we don't have continuous dripping coming all the way down. Now that we've shut this one here off, we still need to shut off the main water supply to this complex. Now this one here is a unit. Generally speaking, in units, you have to look for the shut-off valve. Now on houses, they're generally outside at the front of the property. In especially older units, you'll find they're either in one of three places. They're either in the bathroom, which I'm already in the bathroom now, and there's no visible shut-off valve. Number two is in the laundry, which I'll show you guys usually where it would be. So if we go to the laundry, another common place for it is right here under the sink, but we've got nothing right here. The third place is the kitchen. So if we go to the kitchen, you have to look in all these cupboards, top and bottom, and you'll usually find a shut-off valve there. In this case here, if we have a look down the bottom, that's our little shut-off valve right here. So we're going to turn this one here over to the right, shut that water off, and if we come back to our bathroom, we've got no more water. So there we go, we cut off the water supply. Now this one here is the lowest point in the house, which means even if I turn on all these taps in the house, you can see it's still dribbling out just a little bit, but that's not the lowest. Our lowest point is actually this one here. So even when I do open this one here up, we are going to have a bit of excess water coming out. Luckily we've got the drain right next to it. Alright guys, so we're having a bit of issues with this one here, and after looking at it for a while, I've realized a couple things. From what I can tell, it looks like this one here has had 2 attempted repairs previously. So if we have a quick look, you see that rubber gasket that's between the spindle and also the back section of our shut-off valve here. Now that initially, I thought that was just the fiberglass washers because they come in red. So that's what I thought this one here is, but after looking at it really close, not sure if you guys can tell there, but it's actually some sort of sealant that they've put in there. So there must have been a water leak a long time ago. Someone's come in, put some sealant in there, locked it all in place to prevent the leak from reoccurring. Obviously some years down the track, it's happened again. Somebody's tried to reopen this one here up because you can see there's damage around our little flat sections here for our wrench to bite onto. So this is all worn out. Somebody's tried to remove this at whatever point in time earlier on. Someone's tried to remove it and just gave up, so they've left it there. So unfortunately I can't repair this one here. There's too much problems with this one here. I can force it off and then try and fix it up, but it's not worth it. I'll just replace it. This one here probably costs about $10 to buy a new one. So I'm going to replace this one here now, but I'm still going to show you guys how you would repair it if it was actually repairable and you didn't have the issues like I do now. So we're going to get this one here removed, replace it with a new one, and I'll show you guys how you would repair it if it was actually repairable. Alright, so what we're going to do is remove our connection here to the actual toilet cistern. This will probably leak out a bit of water as well, whatever's left in the cistern. Keep that little rubber as well. So we'll let this one here sit on the side for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the main section of the spindle here. Hopefully we don't run into any other issues that someone's done some dodgy repairs in the past, but we're about to find out. That seems like it's coming off okay. Alright, so we've got our old one off. I'll play around with this in a second. I'm going to try and break the seal and see what's actually inside. You can see better on this side here. So you notice how the sealant's actually squeezed out of there when they did force it shut at some point. We're going to replace it with a new one, which I've got here on the side, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So this one here is our new one. And if you have a look in between, you can still see that rubber washer. Now that rubber washer is a fiberglass washer. The other one is just some sort of red sealant that they've put in there and squeezed it all together. I'll show you guys what the fiberglass washers look like. So these here are what the fiberglass washers look like, and that's why it's really hard to tell. So between this one here, we've got a red fiberglass washer to prevent leaks. This one here looks like it's got the fiberglass washer in between, but it's not actually the washer. It's much thicker. It's almost like an elastic or an epoxy that they've put in there, and that's what's causing us our problem. So we'll replace it with the new one for now. I might actually show you guys on the new one itself how you would repair it. Now remembering we had a leak from the top here, which is on the spindle. These ones here have an O-ring inside which needs to be replaced, and the leak between the joint right here, that one there is that fiberglass washer that I just showed you guys. So in order to fix this leak here, we'd pull these two apart, which I'm going to do now, just to show you guys in case you wanted to repair it instead of replacing. So we'll bite onto one end as I did previously. This one here, turn it over to the left. And that's the way it's supposed to come off. And when we pull it out, we've got our little washer in there. Put this one here down for a second. So what you do is replace that red fiberglass washer right here, and that's what's causing the leak between the joint. Now when we had the leak at the front here, that's not from the fiberglass washer. If we turn this all the way in, keep going a little bit more, right there. You can see there's a little O-ring. So these O-rings here, so over time they deteriorate, they get a little kink in it or a little nick, and that prevents the water from being able to seal in there and leaks out the back end. So to replace these ones here, you can buy a whole range of washers. I mean, have a look at this, all these O-rings and rubber seals and everything. You buy a whole kit of assorted ones, probably about $2-3, really handy to have. Whole bunch of different sizes. That would be the one that we're going to replace it with. But in this case here, we don't need to replace it. But if you had those leaks, you know exactly where those issues are coming from, and you can get that one there sorted. So we'll put this all back together now and install it. Get this little washer, put it on top, and close everything back up. Once again, bite onto the end. Tighten everything back up, and this one here is ready to be reinstalled. So we might need to put a little bit more of plumber's tape or Teflon tape on the threads here. Clean this one here off as much as we can. Doesn't go in that deep anyway. And we're going to put on our Teflon tape. Now, a little trick when putting on your Teflon tape, you want to always put it on clockwise. Clockwise with an L. So the reason why you put it on clockwise is because this is going to also thread on clockwise. If you put this in an anti-clockwise direction, as soon as you start putting this on clockwise, it's going to go in the opposite direction, and you're going to have a pretty good chance of unraveling the threads that you've just put on. So put this one here over, hold it on with your finger just for the first wrap around, and then you should be able to pull on that, put a bit of tension, and just keep wrapping it around. Now, people like to say all different things about how many times you should go around. With this one here, it won't really matter. 6, 7, 8 times. And we'll put our new one on now. Put our cover plate back on. So it's starting to get now nice and tight, hand tight. I'm going to rotate it all the way around. And luckily we've got enough of slack on the hose, so it won't matter which direction it's facing. As long as it's sitting on nice and tight. And we'll get it to face all the way down, and that'll do it. Oops. We can now reinstall our hose, And once that's done, guys, we've got no more leaks. So now I've shown you guys both how to replace your old shutoff valve and also how to repair a shutoff valve if it's leaking. So you've got two main causes, the O-ring and the red fiberglass washer, which was the case in this one here. I'm not going to try pull this apart. It's not even worth my time. Throw it away. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching. Bill's out too.